Hi everybody. Hope you had a great week. Hope everything's going well. Hope you're enjoying the book. I will be back on Monday, so I can't wait to see all you guys. But we need to get started on the researching document for climate change. You guys are going to be looking at a lot of different aspects of climate change, because the climate change issue isn't just about the science and what is happening to our environment. There's a lot more to understand in order to see where the issue is within our world. So let's take a look at the actual activity, and then I'm going to show an example of my expectations for your submission. Okay, so you're working in your group. You guys are going to have 5 different sections for your scaffolding document. Within each of these sections, you need to have at least 5 sources. I'm hoping you will do some more. You should have time, if you use your time wisely, to do even more. The more sources, the more information you can get, the more well-rounded, comprehensive picture you'll have of this issue. Okay. One person is going to take the lead on each one. If you're in a group of 3, you're going to have to decide how you break this up, because you still have to do all 5 sections. I know that might not seem fair, but that's just the way it is. I want you to include the URL for the source that you use for the information. That'll make more sense when I show you my example. And a paraphrase summary of the source, meaning what does the source tell you? And that doesn't just say, if you're looking at science, that this source tells me that the earth is warming up. No, I expect a lot more. You need to summarize the entire source. And then all group members are responsible for the Lakota connection section. I want you to utilize a wide variety of sources: news sites, science, opinions, partisan sites, published papers, books, journals. The bigger variety you have, the better. And for this one, I am encouraging you to have some of your sites be biased or prejudiced, because especially when you look at politics and media, there's a lot of biased information out there. Depending on where you get your information, you could look at one source and it could be an actual news source, and it could say climate change is being it's not as big a deal as we think. We need to pay more attention to the economy. That's more important. Or you could go to another news site and say, this is the biggest issue facing our country. So I want you to find those extremes. Because like I always tell you, the truth is usually somewhere in the middle. And having that comprehensive look at this gives your site more credibility, because I want you to understand the whole issue. So here's the sections. Ideologies and global philosophies. That has to do with, what do people think? You're going to find some people think that this is the most challenging issue facing our world. You're going to find some people who think, you know what, we should do it this way. We need to look at it this way. And you're going to find people on the other side who come up and just say flat out, this is a hoax. It's not happening at all. Or if it is happening, it's not man-made at all. It's, a natural cycle of the planet. I want you to find as many positions as you can, how people view this or what they think about this. The second one, suggested solutions or courses of action. You're going to find a wide variety again of what people think we should do. Everything from, we need to cut fossil fuels right now, we need to make dramatic changes today. You'll find some other ones that say we need to slowly transition, and you're going to find some people that say we need to keep going on the path we're on, or maybe even, ramp it up, use more. There's people out there who say the best way to get off fossil fuels is to use them all up. That is a suggested solution or course of action. Okay, so find as many and as big a variety of suggested solutions as you can. Politics and media. This is where you're going to look. Politics, as far as, depending on who you ask, you're going to get a variety of different views. Okay. Democrats traditionally tend to be more of the alarmists, meaning this is a huge issue. We need to address this immediately. Republicans, not all Republicans, but they tend to be a little more on the side of, we're not sure if this is man-made. If it is man-made, we need to make sure we're also watching out for the economy. We can't make dramatic changes that will, negatively impact people's lives. Now, not every Republican and every Democrat is one or the other, but those are the traditional stances. So go out there, find out what are they saying in politics and government on both sides. And then the other one is the media. That's where I want you to look at what is the media saying. I mentioned in number 1, or up in the instructions with biased or prejudice, you're going to look at different news outlets, newspapers, websites, and they're going to have very different ideas on this. And for the most part, we want our media to be impartial, meaning just give me the information. But the world we live in now, the majority of us get our information from online sources. And that's why it's so important to find credible online sources, is because you never know when a source, if you don't check into it, is someone's opinion based on, it could be based on how they feel that day. Or is their opinion based in science? Is it based in reality? So I want you to find a wide variety of different media. What are they saying? Why are they saying it? For science and health, meaning, what is the science? What is the science telling us about carbon dioxide emissions? What is it telling us about why this is happening? Health, that has to do with how is this negatively impacting people's health? Right? There's very, very real ways that as the climate changes, people's health change. It dramatically impacts the health of older people. Poorer people are definitely impacted more, so find a variety of information. And with all these, they have 2, so politics and media, science and health, so you should try to find at least 2 for one and 3 for the other. And like I said, I'd prefer if you'd find multiple, 3 or 4 for each. But I need to see that you cover each one, at least 2 for each one that you have. The last one is Lakota Connections to Climate Change. I'll show you this in a minute. There's some very real issues like stewardship, meaning a big part of Lakota's belief about our planet is taking good care of it, not using more than we need, finding that balance in the environment where, we are using the buffalo for food and for clothing and for things like that. But we don't want to, cut down 1 million trees and just leave it. We want to find that balance so that the earth can sustain and do well, but we also need to take care of ourselves. As far as how this is going to be grading collaboration, this has to do with the formatting. I'll show you in a minute. The appropriate number of sources and paraphrase summaries. So you need to make sure you're all being graded on that you have enough sources. So you really need to hold each other accountable. I didn't mention it up here. Before you start this, I highly recommend that you guys come up with a plan for, okay, everybody needs to have 2 done by this date. We need to have all 5 of them done by this date. Hold each other accountable, right? And set up a warning system that you all agree on. We're going to take some time today to get started. We're going to have a big chunk on Monday and probably a little time on Tuesday. So you need to hold each other accountable. Government demonstrates a comprehensive understanding of each section, meaning I can see that you clearly have information about everything, a wide variety of credible sources. Agency just has to do with you submit this on time, okay? And I don't want you to submit it until it's done. You're much better off taking an extra day if it's not done than submitting something that's nowhere near complete. Also, just your tech lead needs to submit this. And -5 points if I can't access it. Okay, here's an example of what I'm looking for. Now, I don't have summaries for all this because I just made this really quick. So, politics and media. Here's an issue that discussed. It's no longer a debate over science. It's now become a culture war. I explained what's in this article. And down here, I look at an article, Reasons That Global Warming Isn't Happening. This is an article I found from climate change deniers saying it's not really happening. And then I explained, here's the 5 things why they believe. Here's other sources. Like I said, I didn't summarize them, but you would put the URL and then summarize each one. Suggested solutions or courses of actions, again with summaries for all your sources. Ideologies and philosophies, I have lots of sources here. This is what I'm hoping you guys will do, is have tons of them. But, you should probably have at least a paragraph summary, and probably more, because some of these articles are going to be really long, which means you need to have detailed summaries. Science and health, again, I have tons of them in here. There's so much information out there. And then the Lakota connections. You're going to find a lot. I didn't go into these, but here's one, connections to nature. Here's one about being respectful and responsible with nature, animals, water. Here's the Lakota saying what we need to do. Here's the one about the Keystone Access Pipeline. I did this last year, but I probably have one in there as far as what people are concerned about with the Dakota Access Pipeline. But you can see this did not take me all that much effort, and I found 7 sources talking about the Lakota and their beliefs about climate change, their beliefs about the earth, things like that. Okay, so this should be very detailed. I would say at least a paragraph. And if I look at a source when I'm grading this, and the source is 12 paragraphs long and it's tons of information, and you write 3 sentences, that is not an appropriate length summary. You need to summarize everything that's in there. Okay. I hope this explains it all for you. I'll be on email probably this morning if you have any questions. So get started on this. Again, please start by setting up expectations for your group members as far as when things should be done. I would be checking in on each other's work as you go, meaning, are they paraphrasing it? If you see someone who copied and pasted something from the source in there, I would highly recommend you tell that person to change it immediately, or there will be warnings, because this is something you're getting graded on together. All right, make sure they have enough sources. Make sure the formatting is just like mine with the URL, and then beneath it is the summary. And if you didn't see either, I forgot to mention, after each section, it's labeled. It has the name of the person who took the lead on it. The top should be climate change scaffolding, something like that, your group number, all your names, and then you should have your name after each person that took the lead on that section. So when you get down to Lakota connections, that should have everybody's name next to it. Okay? So good luck on this. Get a good start on it. I'll be there Monday to help you guys if you have more questions. And have a wonderful weekend. I can't wait to see you all on Monday.